Morning all. Hope everyone's well, hope everyone's staying safe, hope everyone's having a great day. It's May 28th, I think it is, 29th, something like that. Temperature's reading between 12 to 15 degrees at the moment, and later on today it's going to knock up to the high teens, and even tomorrow possibly into the 20s. So ideal time to come and check over on the girls. I would have liked to have waited a little bit until a little bit later, but or even tomorrow, but unfortunately my time scales just don't allow. So what we're doing today is we're going to run through all 6 hives, see what the state of them is. Fingers crossed we'll have laying queens in all of them, but it's just going to be a quick look through, see what's happening. Not really an in-depth look at them. We're not planning on doing too much in the way of work today, just want to make sure everyone's alive and well. We are close to our 250 mark, and there's a couple of things I just want your opinions on, but I'll get to that at the end of the video, so please stay tuned for that, and your help in there is going to be massively appreciated. But smoker's just got going, and we'll have a look at the hives. So we're starting off with Brenda, see what she looks like. Plenty of activity coming out from these girls, so happy they're alive. They're on summit, they're bringing in a lot of pollen. And all we're doing is we're looking for space, we're looking for stores, we're looking for any sort of sign of disease or anything like that. And just to confirm, hopefully we've got laying queen and such like. So that's where we are at the moment. Here they come. It's the first time they've properly been opened up for a while, so they'd like to be a bit aggy with me. Hopefully we don't get stung. Not sure that you had. I haven't had any of that. They've not touched their food. It's alright, it's there if they want it. Nice little bit of the pollen patty. Eating that well. Right, let's have a look, see what's going on in here. Any sort of sign of mites, disease, anything like that is what we're looking for. And obviously going for space as well. I don't want to hang around too much. That frame's empty. Try and be as gentle as we can with these girls. Here, mate. Okay. Hello. That's filling up nicely of something. More, lots of nectar going in there. I don't know if you can see, but we've got a frame all around the middle, all around here. It's all filling up nicely with nectar. Good days. Being nice and gentle with them. Now that's nectar on that one. Hopefully we're going to start moving into a bruised nest. Around here somewhere. And we've got some cat brood, lovely, and some eggs, brilliant. So if you can see around the centre here, it's a nice patch of brood. All around the bottom of that, just below that, you might not be able to pick up on the camera, but just below that we've got some eggs in there as well. So we know we've got a laying queen in here. Can't see any mites, no sign of any disease. Some older larvae on the back there, Again, I don't know if you can see around there. Brenda's doing well. You've got her growing nicely. I'm for a couple more frames just to make sure we've got anything on. Space, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue unless these next frames are going to be really full. I've got you stuck there, didn't I? Sorry. Nice big frame of brood on here. Nice big. This hive is going to grow very, very quickly. You can see a massive patch of brood right in the middle like that. One of the bees there bringing in some pollen. Haven't seen our queen, but I know she's in here. Got some drone cells at the top there. She's bringing up some drones as well. Oh, there's our queen. Hopefully you can just about make her out. Where'd she go? Oh, I've lost her. Oh, there she is, just on the edge frame there. Beautiful looking queen. I'm just going to pop her back. It's always nice to see you, queen. Always nice to see you, queen. There we go. So that's them fine. Have a look at a couple more frames. You can see down here these frames are empty still, so they've got plenty of space for the time being. No sign of disease, signs of eggs, signs of larvae, signs of baby bees coming along. I'm going to close them up now because that's pretty much all I needed to confirm. And you have to understand that when you are beekeeping, there is occasions that when you go through a hive, unintentionally of course, you do squash some bees, and that's the last thing that any of us want. So you do what you need to do, you set your goals, you knew what you need to do, and you close them up and let them get back to work. So confirmed, I've got no sort of concerns with any sort of disease as far as I can see. I can confirm that we've got a laying queen. I confirm the hive is growing. I confirm they've got stores. And obviously I can confirm that we're still feeding them as yet. And no sign of disease or any mites or anything like that. So we're good. So I'll close these girls back up and leave them to it. Brenda's like to be one of our hives which we do a split from later in the season. We're going to end up putting a box, I think, straight on top of Brenda. We're going to put a deep, I think, straight on top of Brenda. Come on, girls. And we're going to take, once that split's ready, then we're just going to take that box off and make another hive out of it. Is that if you want it, girls? There you go. I'm just going to sting me, you'll be fine. I don't want to squish you either, girl. Sorry, I'm talking to a bee which has landed on my glove. I don't want it to get squashed. Just like that, actually, almost, but she did fly away. Don't worry, she's not dead. So that's Brenda. I'm happy with Brenda. Alright, so We are going to move on to summer. I've done Cindy. I'll explain to you in a bit what I've done with Cindy. But first, I just want to get summer done. The summer was incredibly light past summer checks. She's not gone through much of a feed, but she's still got some in there. There's the bees in there. Take that feed off. Not a fan of polyneuts, to be honest. There we go. So let's have a tidy up of her. Let's see what's going on in here. Considering she was a swarm which we caught to the end of last year, I'm surprised she's done as well as she has. I wasn't expecting her to make her way through the winter, if I'm honest. But I'm glad she has. Just to see what happens. And I want to get her out of this and get her into a proper box as soon as possible, because these are not great, in my opinion. Oh. Right, let's see what's going on here. It is still very light, but we've got brood. Oh, where's that shallow? I've got a shallow in there for some reason. Okay. Didn't realise I had that. So, having a look at summer. As you can see, we've got a big chunk of natural comb down the bottom there because I put a shallow in for some reason. I must have run out of 14 by 12s. But nice patch of brood around the middle here. And any eggs in there? Yeah, we've got some larvae in here. So we know we're queen, right? So we're growing. I've got nothing in that bottom bit, but all that will be taken off when I move her into a bigger box. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. There you go, so it goes. Just got some fondant on there as well, I need to try and clear up. Nice and smooth. So again, we've got a nice patch of brood around the top. Bring them over once more. So again, nice patch of brood around here, which you can see, which is capped. In these cells, I don't know if you can just make out on camera, but we've got some grubs, some larvae in here growing well, and even some eggs as well. So we've got brood in all stages. No signs of disease, no signs of problems. We're all looking alright at the moment. Not much in the way of stores. Got some more eggs on that frame there again, I don't know if you can make them out. But we are still growing. Nowhere near ready for a new box yet. A few more weeks until that happens, I believe. There you go. Young bees in there as well, which is nice to see. These ones are going to be a problem because they're stuck together with fondant. There we go. These frames are really light. They never need their food. We've got some nectar going in. We've got some shiny nectar going on there. So that's either nectar or feed. I couldn't tell you. So I'm going to knock off that fondant. I'll shoot you off first. The most traditional way of doing that, I'm sure, but it works. Come on. There we go. Hey, fondant. Right, let's pop that back. I'll go for the next frame. So yeah, so these girls are obviously not ready for a full hive yet. But they are still growing. They have got a queen in there. They must have a queen in there because there's eggs in there. So there's new eggs in there. Nothing to suggest letting work as a problem. Sorry guys, I should have thought about that. Oh gosh, what is happening here? So they're storing in here. So that's either syrup or nectar, I couldn't tell you. But they are storing in here. Honeybees on that one, there's not honeybees on there. I don't know what's going on in there. I just need the wax somewhere else. The glasses were pretty empty. Yeah, that's just drawn out frame, that is. Okay, and that's an empty frame that's back there. So, not really much else to do with summer. It's just going to be keep feeding her, keep her going. Hope she keeps growing for us. Alright, let's stick your food back on. There we go. They've got pollen coming in, they've got nectar coming in, or food coming in. Let's split that a little bit more. Okay. That really good. Let's pop that feed back in. Feed the silence up there. Okay. Tell you what we do while we're here. Just take a feed off Summer. Again. No, not Summer, sorry, Cindy. Go to waste. She still needs it, she's still using it. Okay, so Summer is alive, it's growing. Most I can really think about with Summer at the moment, but happy days. Right, that's her done. Right, I'll stop you again there and we'll take a look at another one. So we've just had a look inside Brenda, Cindy, Daisy. And she's good. She's still growing. She's a little small at the moment, but you know it's still early days. But they're queen right. They're feeding. They're doing everything they should be doing. So yeah, happy with Daisy. ABC. Yeah, Daisy. So we're having a look at Emma now. Now, not much activity up here. But I'm sure they're alive. Yeah, they're alive. I've had some of their food. There goes. Emma! Still growing, should be. She was split from last year, I believe. Remember rightly? I'm sure she was. Yeah, she must have been. So yeah, Emma's still growing. We thought we lost Emma a few weeks back, but she's still with us. Very small, but this frame. God, how did she survive winter with this? So a lot of these frames are still empty. That's empty. That's empty. Is that empty? That's empty. That's empty-ish. I'm surprised with the amount of stores she's got in here that she survived. So we've got some bees, there's some bees. Any mites or any issues, nectar being stored. A few bees in there which look like they may have starved throughout the winter. We've got, I don't know if you can see, we've got a couple of bees with the bums popping out just around here. So that's, there's a couple of reasons why they could have done that. So one is it's a good sign of starvation, that is. But another reason is, I think there was something called heater bees, which is something I've never heard of before. But they snake themselves into the hive and vibrate. So that's heater bees. I've never heard of them before, but that's possible. But I'll stick with what I know, and that's a sure sign of starvation. So it looks like some of these girls have starved over winter. Feisty. Got very feisty Emma. No sign of brood. Can't see a queen. Feisty. They're showing all the signs of a queenless colony at the moment. Let's keep looking. I've only got a couple of frames left on this one, so Emma, I'm afraid, might be at a loss without some intervention. Yeah, I've seen absolutely no brood in here. No eggs in here. Just a lot of bees hanging out. Okay. I think this one's probably going to be empty-ish as well. Into frame. Okay, so I think I'm going to run through these frames just one more time, but I think Emma's queenless. In case I missed something. Really good look at these frames. You can see no sign of life whatsoever egg-wise. I don't really want to lose Emma because she's made it this far. I can see nothing. And it's really kind of too early to be able to start putting in eggs, trying to get queens up and running, so there's going to be no drones around this time of year. Okay. So Emma at the moment I think is not long for this world if she stays in her current state, because I can't see a queen, I can't see any eggs in there. So what we are likely going to do is, I'm not going to do it now because I don't think there's any point, because there isn't any drones about for a queen to mate anyway. I'm going to leave these guys probably for a week or two, just with some food, and either there's a queen in there that just hasn't come into lay yet, or there's no queen in there, in which case then we'll need to start looking at swapping some eggs over from a donor hive to try and get them to raise a queen. But that's Emma. I'll stop you there and we'll have another look at well, Abby will be the last one. So post inspection, or first inspection that we've done for the 2021 season, and on the whole not bad, not bad. I'll run you through the hives and let you know what we've done. So we'll start off with Brenda. Brenda is doing really well. I'll bring you down to her. Brenda is doing really well. She's growing really well. She seems healthy, she seems happy. We've got an active queen which is laying well in there as well. We move over to Cindy. Now what we've done with Cindy is she is growing that well. We've actually supered Cindy already. I know it's quite way off till you get a real nectar flow going, but we've I wanted her to have the space. So the last week we had a super that was left on over winter, and that had some syrup in and that had some eggs in it. So what we've done is we've basically knocked down all the bees into the bottom box, so we know the queen's downstairs, and what they're doing now is they'll just put nectar at the top, and everything should be dragged downstairs. She in a couple of weeks time, or a week's time, she's going to start running out of space, so that's what we've done with that one. So Cindy's looking well and supered. Summer, I'll show you Summer. So not much in the way of activity going on there. She is really small. She's going to take a while to get up to speed, but she's alive, she's well, eggs are laid, and yeah, so she just needs time, as does Daisy. So Daisy is doing really well, so she's got everything that she needs. She just needs time again. So she's got food, she's got pollen, she's got bees, she's got eggs, so she just needs that. Now our problematic hive at the moment is Hive E. Surprise, surprise, we always have problems with Hive E's. So Hive E is Emma, and unfortunately Emma would appear to be queenless at the moment. She's really, really aggy, no sign of eggs, no signs of any larvae or anything like that in there. So I'm pretty confident she's queenless, which leaves us in a bit of a dilemma of what we can do with her. The problems that we've got is I can't afford a frame of eggs from any of my other bees. I don't want to have an imported queen into my hive. I'd like to raise my own queens from splits or from cells. And if I did even have take a donor frame from one of the other hives, then I've got no drones about anyway. So we're in a bit of a lost cause with Emma at the moment. So we're going to give her a couple more weeks. Hopefully she'll just keep ticking on as she is. We'll keep feeding her and all that sort of stuff. I don't want to waste a hive. So we'll keep her ticking over as best we can, and then as soon as we've got a frame of eggs, then we'll bring it over to Emma. She can start raising her own queen. But at the same time, she might just not have come into lay yet, so we'll see. And last but not least, Abby. Abby is still my little super hive. Hive number one, hive original. She is doing really well. Loads of pollen, loads of stores in there. She's already covering brood. She's covering 5-6 frames in there. She's working on some of the end frames. She's clearing up some granulation issues which have popped on there as well. But yeah, really happy with Abby. No sort of design of any sort of disease or mites or anything like that on any of our hives, so we're good. So that's the bees. That's how we're doing. Now I wanted to ask you a question as well, because we're approaching our 250 mark, and I was hoping to get something a bit special when we hit to our 500 and 1,000 mark, but I don't know when that's going to happen, and I thought I'll talk about it now because it's probably not even going to come into effect until next season due to issues with deliveries of said items. So two things I'm looking at. One is the flow hive. So I'd like to try a flow hive. Flow hive was one of the first hives that I ever looked at about getting, and it's still something that's on the cards. I'd like to try, but the thing is with flow hives, there's two things with flow hives. One is the only thing that you're actually buying is the harvesting mechanism. You know, the rest of the hive is just a bog standard hive. It's very expensive for that. And the other thing is they are on Langstroth frames, whereas all mine are on nationals. Now you can't buy a national super anymore from Flow, so that makes things a little bit difficult. So it would mean having to buy a whole Flow hive and try and find a way of putting bees on a Langstroth. And then do I then only have one Langstroth hive, or do I have several Langstroth hives? I don't know. So that's option one. Option two, oh actually with option one as well, the other thing about the flow hive is, although it's something that I'd like to try, if you go onto YouTube and YouTube flow hive, there are 75.6 million videos. Now that's an estimate, but I'm probably not far wrong, of people using the flow hive and testing them and reviewing them and stuff like that. So although it's something I'd like to try, if it is something people have seen 100 times before, I understand if you don't want to see it again. So the other thing I was looking at, and little bee just caught my eye. 1 second. Hey girl. Badly one of mine. So the other thing I was looking at is something which is called a bee house. Now this is made by Omelette. Now I've got a few products made by Omelette already, and for one, I like them, and they look like great bits of kit. So the Omelette bee house is essentially a big plastic pot, really. It's arranged, it's about £500, so it's not cheap, but it's essentially 2 bee hives in one. It can hold 22 frames, and then you basically can put supers on and stuff like that as well. So the bee house is something I'd like to try as well, but I'd like your thoughts, I'd like your opinions. Would you like to watch me, or watch a coming together of a bee house, so from Omelette, or would you like to see a review or a look at one of the flow hives? I'm guided by you on this one, because I'd like to do both. So please pop some comments below, let me know what you think, and we'll go from there. Even if I do order either of them tomorrow, they're probably not going to be with me until mid to end of the year. And that being said, they're probably I won't be able to use them until next year. So we've got a long way to think about it, but I'd like your opinions. So that's that. Everything else around here seems to be running quite smoothly, and last time I checked, my subscribers was at 249. Now I wanted, well, my aim was to get 250 subscribers by the end of the year, and I've hit 250 almost by March, so that's amazing. So thank you so much for that. I'm not too sure why I'm still wearing my veil, but I am. So thank you so much for that one. If you have liked this, if you do like my channel, please consider giving us a like, giving us a subscribe, and we've got a long way to go this season. This season has just begun. We've got honey harvesting, we've got inspections, we've now got this camera back, which I found. We're gonna have some point of view videos and all this sort of stuff. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much for your time. You have an amazing day. Thank you. Bye-bye.